We're extremely grateful and honored that Dr. Bakhtiar was able to be here tonight. And at this time, I would request that she accept the Mohammed Webb Foundation's Lifetime Achievement Award.
I call my work the Sufi inaugural. The major breakthrough came when I found a story in Rumi's masterful Masnavi that describes exactly how the Sufi teaching works, how the Sufi enneagram works. It is a simple and yet very profound story of an argument between a husband and wife. The next milestone was the English translation of the Quran. This was a key that unlocked my heart, opened my eyes and ears to the greatest message that God has given directly to humanity through the revelation to our beloved prophet, peace be upon him. I began the translation after I had finished writing a biography of the life of the prophet for a high school textbook. Dr. John Esposito had written the foreword and it was ready to go to print, when I stopped and looked at it and asked myself, how can this be the life story of the blessed prophet when it does not contain the entire Quran? I realized that while one-volume works on his biography are necessary, his life becomes that of someone who engaged in many wars, married many women, and received a sprinkling of revelation. I wondered, is there not a need for a biography of the prophet that would contain all the revelation? Can it be done? How would it be done? I then looked at all the English translations of the Quran, and based on my background in educational psychology, I found many problems, the major one being that there was no internal consistency and reliability in most of the English translations. With my knowledge of classical Arabic grammar, I realized the way to achieve this would be to translate the words first, and then, if the context allowed, use the same word each time it appears. Once that was done, I put the words into the Arabic sentences based on Arabic grammar and syntax. I was later to find out that this was how the King James Version of the Bible had been translated in the 17th century. It took me 7 years to complete. Once I had finished the database I had created, I paused to further study the word Laleh and its use in chapter 4, verse 34. The verse has been translated as, husbands who fear disobedience, or nushuz, on the part of their wives, first admonish them, then abandon their sleeping places, and then beat them. I knew that the prophet never beat anyone. When there was a period of domestic unrest, he went away from his wives for a time. I spent 6 months researching the word Laleh. I found from various Arabic lexicons that it has 26 meanings, one of which is to go away, which is how I translated the verse. Based on my knowledge of Islam, I knew that Islam promotes marriage and discourages divorce. I did not see how allowing a husband to beat his wife, his nushuz wife, could promote marriage. I realized that I needed to study the entire English translation again, one that now had internal consistency and reliability, because the only way to suggest an irrefutable change in an interpretation of a verse is to find a verse that creates a contradiction with it. It was not long before I came to Surah Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 231. It says, husbands who want to divorce their wives cannot harm them. What? I reflected for a minute. If a Muslim woman is about to be divorced, she cannot be harmed. But a Muslim woman who wants to remain married does so under the threat of being beaten. Does this promote marriage and discourage divorce? By the end of the translation, alhamdulillah, I had become a critical thinker. The Quran had taught me how to think. had taught me the discernment for Quran. With this, I entered a third phase of my work at Kazi Publications. While one of the motives behind the development of critical thinking in the West was to undermine religious belief, what some call irrational thought, how could it be that the most sacred of texts actually teaches us not only what to think, but more importantly for critical thinking, how to think? The textbook on the life of the Blessed Prophet, peace be upon him, with which I had begun, has now become a series of works under the general title of The Mobile Minaret. The content of the series consists of the Quranic chapters, ruku by ruku, in chronological order, commentary on each ruku, the history of what happened that year, questions for an individual student, as well as questions for classroom discussion, and a student self-assessment. The chronological order is based on the official list of Revelation of Al-Azhar University. In order to devote the series to the Prophet alone, as this is what the Quranic Sunnah is about, I put all the stories of the other prophets in 4 separate books. Then there's one book for each year of the 24 years of Revelation, one book on the life of the Prophet before the Revelation, and one teacher's manual. Alhamdulillah, so far 5 have been completed. Quranic Sunnah is perhaps a new field that complements the Hadith Sunnah by giving new insights into how God chooses to tell us about the Blessed Prophet, peace be upon him. Quranic Sunnah consists of 4 parts, all in chronological order. The verses that are commands to the Prophet and the verses that are commands to the community, or the Ummah. The Sharia is based on these verses. The other 2 parts of the Quranic Sunnah are the verses that speak to the Prophet using the second person singular, thou in English, perhaps to or tum in Urdu, and anta in Arabic, and the second person plural, you in English, perhaps ab in Urdu, or antum in Arabic. Inshallah, Quranic critical thinking and Sunnah will be presented through the mobile minaret with YouTube videos, SMS, texting, a game, and an app that are a combination of animation, text, and visuals, engaging, shareable, and open to all to view and study to bring self-awareness. A mobile tower from which the faithful are called to inform themselves of how the Quran teaches us to think. It is my fervent prayer that Muslims worldwide learn to engage with the Quran, open it, study it, own it, and take it back in any language you understand, as you continue to listen, recite, or memorize the Arabic for spiritual reward. Thank you so much again. That's all I'm doing.